Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and welcome to the show, y'all. Let me give you a quick recap of episode 1 of Secrets, okay? Listen to me. Now, Chuck and Regina, they get together. They become husband and wife. She has a baby, right? You know, they're the only ones to know this secret about what Reggie did. This is Reggie. You understand what I'm saying? He put something in her drink. Had sex with her. Embarrassed her. Then she finds out a couple of weeks later that she's pregnant. But Chuck, look, he's there. He already was in love with her anyway on the low. He proposes to her. They get married. They have a baby. Everything is fine. And then one day, Riri, the little daughter that they have, she gets sick. And she's in the hospital. And somehow or another it comes out that, wait a minute, Chuck's not the baby. Baby's daddy. And the mother finds out. Now, it's no secret to Regina and Chuck what's really going on, but they're trying to hold this secret. But at the end of the day, it comes out. And the mother is all upset. So they tell the mother what's really going on. So she'll understand what's really happening. But she seems to have some kind of attitude towards this whole situation because she's upset that her daughter was victimized. She won't do something about it. But they tell her they got this. Let's go on with life. Let's go on with life. But like, you know, in a lot of small towns, people talk. And the nurses that were at the hospital, they ain't got no business out there telling somebody's business. They go into the hospital, but they bragging and spreading stuff around, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no telling why they did it, but they did it. And it gets out. And Reggie hears about it. Reggie hears about what's really going on. And he starts to show up when he's not supposed to be showing up. He starts to make a big deal about this, right? And he catches Chuck at work. They all work together, you know what I'm saying, in this same factory. He catches Chuck at work and he says something to him about, hold up, wait a minute, is Riri my daughter? And Chuck tells him real sternly, he said, look, you stay out of our lives and stay out of my way. She's my daughter. I don't even know why you would say that. But see, he didn't know that he had heard through the grapevine what's really going on. You know, people talk in these small towns. Mind your business sometimes, people. You know? But it kept aggravating him and getting under his skin and all this and that. And he's trying to calm Regina down because Regina, she's feeling some kind of way. And now when she goes to work, she's getting these look the side eye. What's going on? But see, they don't really know the truth. They don't really know what happened. And it's not for her to tell them. It's not their business. It's not their business. You feel me? But they're looking at her and they're trying to whisper and say things behind her back and make her feel like she's done something wrong. Make her feel like that she's stepped out on Chuck. Chuck's a good man. And he's trying to console her at night when they're at home. You know what I'm saying? Because Riri's home now. She's gotten out of the hospital. You know, she had some kind of infection and all these different types of things. And that's okay. Because she's a child. She bounced back. So here's the thing. The truth comes out. People are talking. Right? So they out. They out one night. You know, try to relieve the stress one night. They all went out, you know what I'm saying? And Riri was with her grandma. And they were trying to have a good time. Get away from this. Having a nice dinner. They were going to go out to one of the local bars and dance a little bit and then go home and make a night of it. But see, Reggie was there. Reggie on the drink. And he been smoking. And he wants to run his mouth. All loud about what's really going on. So Regina and Chuck, they get up and they leave. And they're out in the parking lot and ain't nobody out there. I mean, there's some people out there, but they're walking. Ain't nobody paying no attention to them. But he keeps walking up on them. And he's talking crazy. Drunk, though. Talking crazy to this man, telling this man that that's his child and he's going to go to court. And he wants custody. He wants to join custody. He wants to see his child. And something inside of Chuck broke right then. He stopped in his tracks. And he turned around. And when Reggie saw the look in his eyes, he tried to run. Chuck stalked him, hawked him, run him down, put his hands around his neck and he's choking him, trying to choke the life out of him, and he beats him and he beats him. And then Regina runs up on the scene and she says, stop, please don't, Chuck. Don't do it. And he snapped back. And when he snapped back, he saw that he had beaten Reggie. Reggie was bleeding. He was unconscious. And when he got up, it was people all around. They watched the whole thing. They don't know what happened. They have no idea why the fight happened. But you know how in these small towns, rumors are floating all around. He beat Reggie up because Regina was cheating on Chuck with Reggie and all this and that, and it come out. Mind your business, y'all. So here we go. See, Reggie trying to be mean and wicked with it. Don't get me wrong. Ain't nobody got no right to put their hands on you and all this and that, but come on, y'all. Come on now. Let somebody say something about somebody you love, right? I'm not condoning it. I'm understanding it. And he snapped. His whole, listen to me, his whole being, his whole reason for living has been to protect Regina and Riri from this type of thing. It hurt him. And he lashed out. And he wanted to do something about it. But see, Reggie don't play by the same rules. He go down to the police station, he takes out a warrant, then they ended up arresting Chuck. They got him. The lawyer go to him and Chuck don't want to tell him what's really going on. He don't really want to put that out there. So the lawyer's like, well, why did you do it? Why did you do it? And Chuck said, I just snapped. He said, let's get to it. Why did you snap? He don't want to tell him. So the lawyer, being a good lawyer, he went to Regina and he said, look, he's not helping me with his defense. He's not giving me anything to go in the courtroom and work with. Can you tell me what's going on with him? Why won't he let me save him? It's obvious that he's a good man. I've done my background on him. Everybody says he's a good man. And I'm hearing these rumors in the street. Is this why he snapped? And Regina looked at him with tears in her eyes and she said, my husband don't want to talk about it. And we're not going to talk about it. So the lawyer said, tell me about it. And then let me decide if this can help him. So she tells the lawyer the whole story. Lays it out from him from the time that the pill gets dropped in her drink and when she didn't know about it to the next day when that later on that night when Chuck finds her in the bedroom with no clothes on and hysterical. So the lawyer said, wait a minute, we can do something with this. But I gotta have the permission to tell the story. I gotta be able to tell the story. And she says, you gotta talk to my husband about that. And she was nervous about it, she was shaking, but she was willing as long as it would help her husband. He went to see Chuck, he's talking to Chuck at the jail, you know what I'm saying? And Chuck says no. He said, if you say one word about it, you're fired. I'll get another lawyer. He said, give me a plea deal. So the lawyer looks at him and said, wait a minute, a plea deal? Why? If I go get you a plea deal, you're going to prison, you're going to be away from the people that you want to protect. You're not protecting them anymore because you're not there. Let me tell this story and maybe, because you haven't been in any trouble, maybe I can get you some probation. And he was thinking about Regina. And he was thinking about Riri. And he didn't want to hurt her. Now his mind is cloudy, y'all. His mind is cloudy. He's set in his ways. He don't want nobody to talk bad about his wife and his daughter. Period. He don't want to hear it. He don't want to hear none of that. And the lawyer tells him, he said, well, let me try to come up with something else. So as time goes by, the lawyer secretly, against the better wishes of his client, he goes to the DA and he lays out off the record what really happened. And the DA says, I sympathize and I empathize with this situation, but unless he is willing to put this on record and say this out loud, he said, I can't show him any leniency. I can't. Because I don't want the wrong message sent to the community that you can take the law into your own hands. He said if they would have reported that, we could have done something about that. And the lawyer tries to explain to him, look, it's not as cut and dry as that. they wanted to spare the embarrassment for Regina. And the DA says, again, I understand and I sympathize and I empathize, but I can only do what I can do with what's made public. I can't settle this case in private. People are asked why, and what do I tell them? I know something you don't know? That's not how it works. But he said, I understand. I'll do whatever I can to make it light on it. I'll do whatever I can to make it light on it. But here's the problem with that. See, the DA has a different understanding of what light is, because he has to send a message. He represents the state. He represents the people in that community, and he's going hard. So time after time, they kept offering him pleas in the 8 years, and then they went down to 6 years, and then they get upset and they pump it back up to 12 years, and it's back and forth, back and forth. And eventually, Chuck is tired. He's tired. So he tells him, he said, look, let's go to trial and get this over with, or give me a plea. Whatever you want to do, I'm just done. I'm tired. I want to get this over with. He's looking at it like a lot of people look at stuff, you know. Riri's a little baby. By the time he gets out, if he gets the worst deal that they've offered him, 12, she'll be right about turning a teenager. Now see, when you rationalize that in your mind, right, versus what he was trying to do, protect her, it seems to make some sense to some people. It seems to make some sense. But, see, we're not factoring in what is it going to do to the daughter? What is it going to do to the relationship between Chuck and Regina? How is it going to affect it? It's admirable that he wants to protect them. But there's no way around it. There's no way around it. You can't make this make sense by leaving. You can't. And Regina goes to the jail and she's talking to him. She said, look, I'm just going to get up on the stand and I'm going to tell everybody what happened. I'm just going to tell everybody what happened. And we're going to let it play out. So Chuck gets upset. And he tells his lawyer that he'll take the 12 years. So it won't be able to come out. See, she can't go to the DA and say, don't let him plead out. And the DA tells her, says, look, I got to go on and get this case over with. So they give Chuck 12 years at 85%. Now, Riri's still a little kid, a little baby. She might be 13, 14 when he get out. But again, who knows? He might work out something and ain't no telling what might happen. But when you got 85%, that's what you got to do. You got to do 85% of the sentence. Simple as that. So here's the thing. Here's how this played out. Here's how this played out. Chuck pleads out in court. They asked him, did he have anything he wanted to say? He said no. The judge said, it seems that you don't have any remorse. And Chuck looked at him. He says, my heart aches for this situation. And the judge was like, is there something that I'm missing here? This man has no record. He seems to be a nice guy. I've got nothing but good reports from the people in the community about him, his supervisor, his work. What is it that I'm missing? The DA looks at Chuck and his lawyer. He says, Your Honor, the defendant wants to plead this case out and get it over with. And the state is all with it. There's nothing else to be said. The DA really starts to understand Chuck, and he wants to keep it down. He don't want it out there like that. Everybody's thinking about Riri. What is it going to be like growing up with this on her? Now again, I know a lot of people say, hold up, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Just lay it out there. The mother already knows. The people already know, but nobody's thinking about how is it going to affect Riri. Think about this. Now, I'm going to break this down for y'all. I'm going to break this down for y'all. Because y'all already know what I'm finna say. Y'all know. See, Chuck was trying to spare Riri the pain of knowing one day that she was born not out of love. Listen to me, y'all. She was created, not created, but her mom was impregnated with her. Not through an act of love, but she was drugged and taken advantage of. And I use the term taken advantage of lightly. Y'all know what it was. And he don't want that out there like it. He don't want that on the record nowhere. He don't want nobody to be able to say whatever. They want to raise her without that burden. But he's not going to be there for the first half of her life, the most important time of her life, because he don't want that out there, and he's willing to go to prison for it. She's a baby. She's not going to remember any of this. He's hoping that by the time he gets out, everything will be fine. Wishful thinking, but that's what he's hoping. So he takes the 12 years and he's shipped off to prison. But before he shipped off to prison, Regina comes down to the jail and she tells me, she said, I'm with you to the end. I'm with you. And he tells her, he said, be careful. Protect yourself. They've already talked to a lawyer. The lawyer said if Reggie tries anything, trying to get custody, anything like that, we're going to fight it to the hill. And they even threatened to bring everything out on how, you know what I'm saying, that Regina got pregnant if he says one word about it. At first, after Chuck went to prison, he would come around and see her at work, and he would try to set her. See, people at work, they don't know the details. So they see this situation different. When they see when they see Reggie sitting at the table with her outside and all this and that, they get to whispering, talking about, look at her. Now her man is gone to prison and she still want to be sneaking around. She wasn't doing that. But it made her feel some kind of way. Because people, they don't know what's going on, and she didn't want to put that out there because they're trying to protect Riri. See, we think we know what's going on with people. We don't be knowing. We don't be knowing. So now, she goes to visit every weekend at the prison, telling them how things are going, and she got Riri, and he's playing with Riri, you know what I'm saying? And Riri loves to just snuggle up to her daddy and fall asleep in his arms. And that's the way they did it for the longest. You know what I'm saying? When she would fall asleep in his arms, that's when, you know, the visit would end and she would walk Riri out sleep. So she wouldn't wake up crying about her daddy in the prison. But when she would get home, she'd wake up looking for her daddy and she would cry then. Where's daddy at? And see, now, what we don't understand, see, that's laying a foundation and starting to take a toll on the child. You know what I'm saying? She's starting to accept life without her daddy around. You know what I'm saying? Because see, kids are resilient, but resiliency comes with hardening. Can I get an amen on that? See, yeah, you can adjust and adapt to something, but see, what's going on that helps you adjust and adapt? Your heart is becoming numb to the pain that you feel because you want to make it through, and a child does that without really understanding what's going on. She's just trying to make it through. Where daddy at? Mama said daddy will be home. He's not here right now. And year after year, this is the story. And eventually, all of the things that the child is doing, meaning daddy, daughter dances, daddy, daughter engagements, things that she's supposed to do, the conversations she wants to have. She talks to him on the phone. She talks to him during the visit. She can't understand. She can't seem to understand why daddy ain't there. Why he not here? And year after year, this is the story. See, but at the same time, he decides, now I want to fight. I want to appeal my case because my lawyer didn't do this and do that. He starts to feel some type of way. Because his sentence was given to him in a way to where he's supposed to still got 30%. But see, if you plead out, they can give you 85%, whatever. And if you want to know how this plays out, tune in, y'all, to this next episode, right? So you can hear how this thing continues to play out. This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.
I'm getting so tired.